Story begins in 1960. Notorious, sharp-minded criminal arrives at Alcatraz prison. The inmate is Frank Morris. At America's toughest prison, built on an island in the sea. No one has ever escaped there, and getting out is nearly impossible. Frank was notorious for prison breaks, so they sent him to Alcatraz, one of world's worst. Arriving, they searched him, then led him to his new cell life term. At breakfast, Frank met prisoner Litmus. He doted on a mouse, his close friend, sharing food. As they talked, Frank saw inmate Wolf taunting him, but Frank ignored him completely. After breakfast, Frank was taken to Warden's office. He warned, "Value your life. Don't escape. No one leaves Alcatraz. Guards shoot live rounds. If you escape, you'll drown in cold ocean." That evening on the walk, Wolf harassed Frank again before everyone. Frank snapped and beat him hard. After challenging the toughest con, inmates respected him. Smart Frank ran the prison office. There he also met English, serving 2 life terms for murder. Their chats reveal English loves history books. They become close friends. Days later, Frank met Doug, a gifted prisoner who drew constantly to forget prison loneliness. One day Frank told English escape was impossible. Inmates are counted 12 times daily. Snipers watch everywhere, non-stop. And even if you got out, you drown in icy seawater. That night, guard offered Frank carpenter work at 15 cents/hour. Next day in the yard, Wolf attacked Frank again. A brutal fight erupted. Guards intervened. Wolf knifed him, and both got solitary. Frank was mad, defended himself, yet got jailed 2 days after solitary. Litmus sent a greeting via mouse. Around then, inmate Charlie arrived next door, jailed for a major theft. One day, on rounds, the warden passed Doc's painting-filled cell. One canvas showed the warden himself. He hated mural, erased drawings, and banned Doc from drawing inside prison. The decision broke Doc's heart. Drawing kept him alive and distracted amid these monster-filled surroundings. Next day, Doc acted strange. Frank warned guard, "Watch him. He's unwell." Guards ignored him, told him to work. Doc chopped off 3 fingers in protest. Guards rushed him to prison hospital. Frank watched silently. That night in his cell, he saw a roach in the vent and guessed a way out behind it. English arrived with books, saying the boss stopped Doc drawing. He hated Doc's portrait there. Day 2 at lunch, Frank met brothers John and Clarence from Atlanta prison, jailed together. As they talked about Alcatraz being inescapable, Frank first began seriously considering escape there. That night, after guards searched, Frank pulled a nail clipper hidden in Warden's Bible. He dug by his cell vent, saw plaster crumble easily. Walls were old. Next day, Charlie's wife visited and said his mom was gravely ill. Doctors estimate days or few months left. News crushed Charlie. Considered escaping to see mom once. That night, in Seoul, he told Frank, "I'll escape Alcatraz with you." Break the no escape myth. Next morning at breakfast, Frank outlined the escape. Ocean damp weakened prison walls to our advantage. We'd pull vents from our cells and crawl through pipes behind them. The plan was solid, but one problem remained. How would they cross the ocean and reach land? Frank turned to Clarence. Since you work the prison laundry, grab raincoats whenever you can and stash them there. Escape night. Make inflatable raft. All liked it. Helped him. Same night, Frank dug the walls. Charlie watched guards, warning if one approached. Frank dug hard, but his nails slowed him. His hands got cut digging too. Next morning, he told his crew, better tools mean faster, easier digging. He noticed Spoon, rubbed it on his shoe to seem dirty, called guard, requested a new spoon. Agreed. Frank went with John for the replacement. As John talked, distracting the guard, Frank quietly pocketed 2 spoons. He borrowed a coin from Thames. At night he lit a small fire, melted a spoon, fused it to clippers, making tool. Back digging, he found the tool excellent. In a new scene, he digs eagerly as a guard nears the cell. Charlie misses it until English distracts him. Frank covered the hole, slipped under the blanket, feigning sleep. Guard missed him. Charlie wasn't fully reliable. Later he kept digging and saw the old grill still needed special tool. Each trip, he stuffed pockets with dug up dirt and dumped it outside, avoiding suspicion. In prison, he made a grill cutting tool, hiding iron in his hand. Detector beeped. Guard seized the iron, thinking contraband, yet it was part of his plan. The tool was in his shoe. Back in his cell, he cut the mesh and lifted it. Meanwhile, Charlie, John, Clarence did likewise in cells, finishing escape plan phase 1. Then they made fake heads so guards thought they slept. They split tasks. John gathered prison salon hair. Charlie grabbed dye. Frank stole old library papers. Then they mixed wall plaster with paper, making skull-like molds. Once painted with details and hair, they looked like human heads. Frank made and painted fake grill, hiding hole. One night, Frank explored beyond opening, left a dummy head, quietly slipped through vent. He climbed through pipes, reached top, saw a metal door, too high alone. Guard on night round saw the head, assumed Frank slept, walked on, still unworried. Morning Frank told friends, metal door, nightfall. He and John returned. Quiet. They slipped out, and Frank climbed John's shoulders to see door. With the right tool, they could open it. Next day, music class. Frank saw a broken fan to build his tool. After it ended, he slipped the fan into an instrument case. Unnoticed, he dismantled fan, used its motor to build a metal gate cutter. That night, he and John returned, started cutting. The cutting noise raised doubts. Some guards heard something odd, but shrugged it off and kept patrolling. After effort, Frank and John opened the gate, rushed to cells unseen. Next day, as inmates watched a movie, Frank, Charlie, John, and Clarence agreed. Tuesday night, they'd escape Alcatraz, the worst prison. Tuesday breakfast. Frank left a flower on the table for Doug. Warden watched afar. Suspicious. He approached, cited prison rules, then crushed flower publicly. Litmus snapped, attacked the director, but high blood pressure triggered a heart attack. Sadly, he died instantly. That night, the warden searched Frank's cell, sensing trouble. Guards searched, found no proof he broke the law, and missed the fake network. Post-search, warden told guard, "Move Frank to another cell." Guard said, "Finish paperwork first, then execute his order next." Meanwhile, Wolf left solitary after 6 months to take revenge on Frank. But English stopped him, saving Frank once again. At last came the awaited night. Escape, breaking Alcatraz's impossible rule. Frank and friends agreed. Meet at open gate. At night, they slipped out single file. Suddenly, fear stopped Charlie. He bailed. Frank, John, and Clarence kept going, helping to the prison roof. Charlie tried to catch them, mustered courage, left his cell, but at the gate couldn't cross alone, losing freedom. Meanwhile, Frank and friends dodged watchlights, moving cautiously to reach prison's rear. Past the outer gate, they finally escaped Alcatraz. At the ocean's edge, they gathered raincoats stolen for months and started building a crude boat. Simple, but it will help them here. After grueling work, they finished the boat. Finally, 3 sailed off from hellish Alcatraz. They broke the prison curse. Next morning, guards entered cells, lifted covers, and found fake heads where escapees were. Alarms rang. Prison-wide manhunt began at once. News spread fast nationwide. Navy and Air Force searched too, but found any trace of Frank, John, or Clarence. Investigators found raincoat scraps and personal items floating offshore. And during the Angel Island search, the warden insisted this proved they drowned. They'd never leave them if alive, but a cop guessed they tossed the items in water to fake drowning for everyone. Later, the prison warden was summoned to Washington to answer for the escape failure and explain how it happened. He saw a chrysanthemum on a rock. His aide said it doesn't grow on Angel Island. This may prove Frank and friends reached shore, escaping world's toughest prison. They did the impossible. None could before, nor will again. Because they shattered a vast curse binding the world's deadliest criminals in this remote island prison. Escape meant certain death. Ultimately, reports say 3 escapees were still never found today, and Alcatraz prison was shut down for good less than a year after the famous escape. This film is true, inspired by real events, with no dramatic fabrication. The movie is based on the famous escape from Alcatraz prison, which happened on the night of June 11, 1962. 3 inmates escaped as planned, but a 4th helped plot it and mischance to leave his cell, serving time inside. Officials said they most likely drowned in the cold waters of San Francisco Bay. Officially. Truth is, they never found their bodies. They lived until dying.